guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we got a lot going on, so we're gonna have to run through this a little bit quick. I am sick right now, so bear with me and my deeper voice, but so today we're gonna be going over all the books that I read for the month of March, also my TBR for April, and then also a mini book haul, even though I claimed I wasn't buying any more books, but here we are. Also, this will be the last video that you probably see this page wall. I was very proud of it, but the top is just falling off now, so you can't see it just yet, but top half is already coming off, so I'm just gonna have to remove it because I keep trying to stick everything back on and it's just not working. Don't really have time to deal with that right now, so just gonna remove it. But anyways, for the month of March, I had planned on reading a total of 8 books. That was a very harsh goal for myself because I ended up only reading 3. Granted, 2 of them are pretty big, but definitely tried overachieving. And granted, this was my first month annotating books, so definitely takes a little bit longer to read when you're annotating everything. So anyways, first book that I read for the month of March was The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I do also have another video that I have up right now of me annotating this book and going through it, just my thoughts on it. But overall, I gave this book 4 out of 5. I really like the characters, I really like the storyline. This was my first really like fantasy read in like 10 years. So granted, one thing that was hard was there are a lot of characters in this book to remember. Some I was kind of getting mixed up, so I kept having to stop and go back to my annotations and see who was who again and what part of the world they're from. But overall, I'm very proud of my annotations because it really made the story easier to understand with how difficult a book like this can be. It was definitely a challenge, but I enjoyed it. The only downside that I had about this book was, you know, there's definitely a lot of world buildup to the war that is going on, and then when you get to the war, it was really only like 20 pages long, and I was like, oof, I was expecting a lot more, you know, with how big of a book this is. But overall, I think what really drew me to it was like all the different characters. I love them. But after that, next book I read was A Day of Fallen Night, which is the prequel to this. I did also heavily annotate this as well. I was originally going to do a video of me annotating A Day of Fallen Night, but when I first started this, I want to say the first 30 pages, I did not care for it at all. I didn't really care for the characters either. I felt like I was comparing a lot of the characters to Pyrie. So I was like, oh, this character reminds me of this character, and it seemed like everyone was the same person. This was just 500 years ago. So when I first started reading it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with this book. I didn't know if I wanted to continue annotating it or even reading it, but because I was so hyped up about it, I spent $30 on a brand new hardcover book that I already started. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get through it, see how I like it, maybe things will change. And I ended up loving this one more than Priory. I'd say I would give this one a 4 out of 5. I normally don't rate with like a 0.5, 0.75, just because all of my ratings go based off of just like the normal Goodreads 1 through 5. But in the end, I wasn't surprised that I loved this book more than Pyre, just because I always love prequels to books. So I love that there was just constant, you know, drama, and it always kept me on the edge of my seat, like my heart racing. I just wanted to continuously read it. I didn't get to a point, I want to say after the first 100 pages, I didn't get to a point that I didn't want to stop reading it. So only downside was the characters. And then I think what also threw me off was in the back of the book, there's like a little short section of this couple and how they first met. And the ending was very good, but then I got to that part and it kind of confused me. So I was left with like a really weird feeling towards the ending. If I didn't read that back part, I would have read the ending and then just loved it. But definitely a really, really good read. I'm proud of myself for finishing this, annotating it, and getting through it all. And I haven't read any of her other books other than these two. Hopefully she does write more of this world, because it's super interesting and there's just a lot going on. So like I said, I had 8 books that were on my TBR, but my third one and my last one that I read for this month was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book that I've ever read from her, and I absolutely loved it. I know that most people say that this book is probably like the most boring out of them, but like I said, I love prequels, I love beginnings of books, so I definitely enjoyed this one and gave it a 5-star. Only thing I was a little bit surprised about was, I think when I bought these, I saw that they were like spicy books. There wasn't a lot in this one. I'm sure that there's going to be plenty in the rest. But overall, the storyline was really good. Definitely pulled at my heartstrings. I was like crying, and my poor husband was worried about me because he saw me just crying. But I love this, and I have like all the books now, and I just can't wait to get more into the Sarah J. Maas universe. But I'm annotating them as well, so that's why it's taking me some time. And so those are all the books that I read for month of March. Right now, I am currently reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm about 30% of the way done with it. So that's why this is going in my April TBR. But so far I'm loving this book. Love all the characters. I'm just at that point right now where the characters that I loved in book 1, I'm starting to hate, and the characters that I hated in book 1, I'm starting to love. So you don't know who to trust anymore. But yeah, this one is going on my April TBR. The other books that I have on my TBR is going to be just the rest of the Sarah J. Maas A Court of Thorns and Roses book series. Don't really know too much about these other books. I have seen some spoilers on TikTok, and I think, granted, since I started reading these books, I have been on TikTok significantly less, just because I feel like I say the word ACOTAR and TikTok just starts bringing them up. So I have to keep myself from there so I don't spoil myself any more than I already have. But let's see, so that's 3.5-ish books. The only other book that I plan on reading for the month of April, and hopefully I get to it because this is also a long one, is A Little Life. I was supposed to read this month, but obviously I'm just pushing everything to next month since I didn't finish it. So I do plan on annotating this one as well. I saw that, I guess it's 4 main characters that are in New York, and you have to distinguish who's who, because later on in the book it doesn't even tell you who's who, so you kind of have to just figure that out yourself. But yeah, those are the only books that I plan on reading for April. I'm definitely trying to bring my goal down a little bit to make it a little bit more realistic, since, you know, all of these books I'm going to be annotating. So also, let's go ahead and get into the little book haul that I have. I promised myself I wasn't going to be buying any more books, yet here we are. So first one that I picked up was My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I have seen such great things about this book. Definitely, you know, a thriller book, something that I love. I was at Sam's one day and I saw this, and their books are significantly cheaper than a bookstore. Like, this one was $8.68, so I couldn't leave there without buying a book. Ugh, my throat. I'm like having to stop the video constantly because I keep coughing, but we're almost to the end. So I did not expect to buy this month at all, but I did buy the Throne of Glass series. Yes, I know you should probably not buy a whole series without even reading the first book. I know very minimal of what it's about, but I saw the tandem read of these two books online. I thought that was super interesting, so I definitely wanted to give that a try and read both of these together, see how I like it. I think I also saw that there are two of the Game of Thrones books by George R.R. Martin that are also a tandem read, so I wanted to take a look at that as well, because I do plan on reading those in the near future. So yeah, that is all the books that I have to show for y'all. Definitely have everything very sorted out for the month of April. Not too sure what I'm going to do for the month of May. I'm very torn between either reading the Throne of Glass series, or I also have the Crescent City series. I don't know which to start for the month of May. I've seen very mixed things of people saying that you should read the Crescent series first or the Throne of Glass first after you read ACOTAR. So I don't know who's more right. I don't know behind their reasoning which one is better to start off. But if someone can please let me know. I definitely need to figure that out before May, because I do plan on reading one or the other. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next one. Hopefully I'm a little bit better by then. But thank y'all for watching. Bye.